Hey everyone, if my background looks a little unfamiliar here, yeah, I did a thing. I got an NB. Yep, this is the same one that I was talking about before. It's a 2002 Special Edition that used to be owned by my friend Adam. This is the same car we did the timing belt video on. It's a 203,000 mile 2002 Special Edition Blazing Yellow Mica Miata. And before I go too much into the content of what this car is and the kind of condition it's in, I want to address one thing that came up when I introduced my 6th Miata, and that was that I got a nice response from some jackwagon, that's the nice word I'm going to use, who basically decided to take it on himself to basically tell me what a piece of my car was and how awesome the car he bought was for just a few $1,000s more. Well, you know, you paid more than I did. Yeah, he just basically just took a giant dump on my car and talked about how awesome his car was and how it had his name on it. And actually, if those of you who watched my user comments video, I did do a segment on that I actually cut out of the video at the last minute. And if you want me to post that, I will, because let's just say it was vomit inducing. That's about the best way I could put it. But anyway, that's enough about that. Let's move on to this car. This is now my 2002 Special Edition Miata. It's going to be my next project car for the channel. If you've ever wondered why I would buy a car that is not in pristine condition, it's because I want to generate content fixing the car. And if I have a car that's perfect, I don't have anything to fix. So this is a blank canvas. And I have to thank my friend Adam, who was the one who originally owned this car, because he was gracious enough to donate this car to my channel. So basically, I got this car for the low price of $0. This is probably the best free Miata you're ever gonna find ever. And you're gonna see a lot of this car coming up. Basically, what my plan for this car is I'm going to turn it from being a well-worn daily driver. That's why it's got over 200,000 miles on it. The car was daily driven pretty much its whole life. And I'm going to turn this into a car that's streetable, but yet something I can take to the track and enjoy. So it's going to be modded to be able to do well at the track, but also be comfortable on the street. Adam picked up this car in early 2023, and his original plan was to V8 swap it. It was mostly stock, except for the Enkei CDR9 wheels, which are pretty beat up. And personally, I don't think either of us really cared for the look of those. Over the course of the year, we did some maintenance on it. We started by changing the timing belt on it, which you may have seen in my earlier video. Adam completely replaced almost all of the braking system, rotors, pads, brake lines, and calipers. So all of that stuff is brand new. He also put a Flying Miata mid-pipe and axle back exhaust on it, and it sounds really nice, but unfortunately I didn't get a sound clip. I'll throw that in a future video once I get it all sorted. And here you can see what kind of shape the fog lights were in. They were pretty trashed, and we replaced them as well. And once I had accepted Adam's offer, I bought a whole mess of parts for it. Wheels, tires, a light and flywheel, the entire clutch system including the hydraulics, and we started working on getting the car sorted. This Miata is number 2426 of 2,491 Special Edition cars built in 2002, and one of only 1,000 painted Blazing Yellow Mica. It was built during the final week of production for this model. Adam named the car the Banana, and I decided to keep that title, and as a tribute I added the dancing banana sticker on the back. Any of you old school internet people will remember what this one's all about. We shot the timing belt video for this over a year ago, and since then only 300 miles have been put on the car. And over 200 of those miles were driven the weekend I brought it back to Seattle. The interior is basically stock and is in mostly good condition. The seat upholstery appears to be coming apart on the driver's seat, and the passenger seat's a little beat up too. I do plan on restoring the interior, so I'm going to look into having the seat covers on the bottoms of the seats replaced. The stock radio's been removed and has been replaced with a single DIN Sony CD player. It's nothing fancy, but at least it has Bluetooth and it can play off a USB stick. This car came standard with the aluminum pedal covers and sill plates, as well as the chrome gas cap cover. It has the Roadster mats from Mazda Miata in it, and they're fairly new, but I decided I wanted something a little different, so I reached out to one of my friends. That is beautiful. Look at that. So this is a reproduction of the floor mats that came with the 2002 Special Edition, and these were done by my friend Amy. And she's really good at this. She'll do a lot of custom stuff for you. If you don't see stuff on the website, you just ask her what you want. She might be able to make it. But check it out. Her website is miatagear.com. She makes some really good stuff, and these things are going to look awesome inside the Banana. Another thing that's kind of surprising here is what kind of condition the trunk trim is in, which all seems to be pretty good. It's missing a whole mess of fasteners, so I just ordered a mass of them off of Amazon. And for just a quick note here also, I want to mention I'm now a member of the Amazon Influencer Program, and I've created a store that has tons of things like parts and fasteners and accessories for your Miata. And basically, a lot of the things that you see in these videos, I've put them in there to where you can just click on them and you can purchase one for yourself if you want to. And to take a good look under the hood, you can see that it's definitely showing its age. You know, the valve cover's pretty pitted, as is the intake here. It's overall, it's kind of dirty. You can see it needs to be cleaned up in here quite a bit. Now there's a few things that we have done to it. You can see Adam put in the coolant overflow tank from Flying Miata. There's the washer tank here from Flying Miata also. I do plan to do a lot of upgrades to this, and like I said, I'm just kind of giving you a look around there. So you can kind of see the overall condition of everything. This is going to be the before look at it, so this is before I really touched it. I mean, I did do a little bit of cleanup last night, but not much, and you can see that there's a lot of dirt down here in some of these areas over here and stuff like that. But you know, that's part of having a project car. You can see these shocks, they are very old and they're very tired, and the suspension in this car needs a lot of work. And here's the master cylinder that we just put in. You can see we also put in the braided line to replace the OEM combination of hard and soft lines. I do like it. It's pretty nice. Made putting it back together a lot easier. This is a fairly simple replacement. We also replaced the slave cylinder on the transmission with it as well. The radiator that's in here is still good and works fine, and we also have a new water pump, and you can see the new hoses are in here as well. So we basically replaced all the hoses for the cooling system, and I do want to clean up the wiring harness and all that stuff, but it does have new coils on it. It's got new spark plugs. You know, we did the whole timing belt thing. Everything's good there. I've found no leaks on this car at this point, and this is partially because we did all the seals on the engine. The clutch system has all been completely replaced. We just did the clutch, the flywheel, and all the hydraulics on that. And I'll also point out here, you'll notice that it has hood struts on it. I think these came from Super Miata. And the funny thing about that is that these are the exact hood struts that were on my Mazda Speed, and I gave them to Adam after I took them off that car, and now they're on this one, and now they're back in my house again. You can see in here we redid the brake system in here. It's got new rotors, new calipers, all the lines are stainless steel. The brake system works fantastic in this car. 60 to 0. 3.45 seconds. It's just a matter of kind of getting it cleaned up and then doing some fun mods to it. Suspension is next. Kind of making this more of a track focused car. I want it to be something I can drive on the street all the time, but I also want it to be fun on the track as well. And for future mods, I do want to powder coat this valve cover, and I want to do the intake also at some point. I may do them together just so they look good together, but I haven't figured out yet what color I want to do and what scheme I want to do. I'm basically just going to work on getting this all cleaned up and making it look nicer. It's still not going to look great. That's going to be a work in progress over the next who knows how long. For a car that's got almost 204,000 miles on it, it's actually in really amazing shape. It could be a lot worse than it is now. I think with what we've done to it even so far, and then once I do the suspension on this car, that's going to make this a good, enjoyable car for a number of years to come. And there's going to be a lot more content on the Banana to come. We've already done a video on replacing the clutch. In a couple of weeks, we're going to do all the bushings and the suspension. It's going to get a complete suspension overhaul. Eventually, it's going to get a roll bar and a lot of other stuff in it. So stay tuned for more progress on the Banana, and we'll see you next time.